My name is Cabot Hamilton, and I happen to be the brother of George Hamilton IV. For a long time, I thought my name was, are you George Hamilton IV's brother? What a nice way to pay a tribute to George today, his 79th birthday. I do want to thank everybody that dug his thanks, so I won't regroup that. But they asked me to talk a little bit about the Hamiltons in Winston-Salem and a little bit about being a brother of an internationally known music star. Peyton has touched on some of it with what he said. But the Hamiltons as Moravians, you have to go way back in the archives of Old Salem to Horatio Hamilton. He came down here from Hope Community. Interesting. He came down here from the Hope Community area just outside of Winston. And when he died, he was raising his grandson, who for some unforsaken reason decided to move to Ashe County. At that time, Ashe County was known as the Lost Province. Some people think it might still be a bit that. If you want to find George Hamilton I, you're going to have to go to Ashe County. But George, actually our grandparents both grew up in Ashe County, moved down here to go to work for the railroad. So our parents were born here. George and I were born here. George is over in God's Acre, along with our parents and our grandparents. George the First and I, George the Fourth and I were raised in Freeze Memorial Moravian Church, of which there's a member of the band over there with a straw hat on. Just to pass on one other thought, our father, George III, actually ran Goody's headache powders for all of his life in business. It was in Old Salem. Has since been torn down now. George IV, to me, as the brother, had two music careers. And believe it or not, he let me travel with him during my high school years. Every summer, I was with him. I was the gopher. I would pick up the guitar and whatever else. But as a result, I got to hang around with Buddy Holly and Eddie Cochran. And Frankie Avalon, Connie Francis. I was in heaven, believe me. But in 1956, George recorded A Rose and a Baby Ruth down in Chapel Hill. They sold his contract to ABC Paramount up in Washington, New York area. And that's where he got entangled in what we call the teens, pop culture of the late 50s. And he stayed in that for a number of years. Again, back to Tinky, George and Tinky were married in First Baptist Church right here in Winston-Salem. About 1960, George moved to Nashville, and there he began his country career with RCA Records and with Chet Atkins. Abilene, Break My Mind, such as that. 56 years he had in the country business before he passed away basically 2 years ago. I want to say quickly and kindly in my thought, my life was completely filled in a manner strictly by accident. I happened to be, are you George Hamilton IV's brother? But that alone caused me to have a full life that went well beyond any life I would have expected in Winston-Salem in the late 50s. I got to meet some very great people. Grandfather Mountain up at Hugh Morton up at Grandfather. His daughter's here with us today. I got to meet Arthur Smith. I got to spend some time with Tex Ritter too. It was a beautiful life. He gave it to all of us, and anybody in the family can tell you they were affected very positively. George IV was named the ambassador of country music quite some time ago. But I can tell you also, he was an ambassador to the Moravians of Old Salem. Thank you.